This is session 3 of your traffic and SEO training. In this session, we're going to go over article marketing and keyword research for more traffic and more profits. You want to write informative articles that help build credibility and that drive targeted traffic and increase your search engine ranking. So that's very, very important. The next thing is to keep in mind articles increase your online exposure by placing your articles on high traffic, high authority websites. And I want to make sure that I made the screen active, so I'm going to just double check on that. Okay, good. So you guys are seeing the screen. I just want to verify that. So let's go back right here. Okay, so obviously you want to be writing informative articles using that keyword research that we just went over. So when you're writing these informative articles, they will help you build credibility, drive targeted traffic, and increase search engine rankings. People will help see you as an expert, and that's why article marketing is so important to your business. Articles increase your online exposure by placing your articles on high traffic, high authority websites. You're simply providing information that people are seeking, and that's where you come up, and that's why you want to provide the information that people are seeking using those keyword research tools that I just went over briefly. And then at the end of the articles, you want to include a link to your websites. You want to include a call to action so that people will go right back to your websites. You want to have some sort of a call to action within that. So here's a little brief overview of how to write articles. You want to include a catchy, keyword-rich title for the article, and you want to try to write at least 3 and around 5 short paragraphs for your article. So shorter paragraphs will increase the chances of the article being read. It's really difficult to read articles, you've probably seen them that have 150, 200 some words in just one little article. It can be difficult, in one paragraph. It can be very difficult to follow along, and that's why a lot of sales pages and things like that you see online are broken down into a little more easier to manage bite-sized chunks. So you can even try to include some subheadings within your articles as well. So you want to include a catchy keyword-rich title for the article, and the keyword-rich title would be exactly what we just researched. And when I'm talking about keyword-rich title, you want to include your keyword somewhere in the article title, preferably at as far to the left, the beginning of it as possible. But if you can't include it to where it makes sense and it's catchy, you want to include it somewhere in there. Things like step by step, 5 steps to dog leash training success. That would be a great article title. 5 steps to dog leash training success. 5 steps to putting success. Things like that. Those would be huge for you. You want to provide good, solid content within your articles, within those 3 to 5 paragraphs or more of your article. Provide good, solid content to the readers, because by providing good content, people are going to want to purchase something from you. They're going to want to click to learn more, because they're going to say, wow, he's providing this kind of content for free. What's he got to offer me on his website? Does he have more of this great content? That kind of thing. People will respect you if you provide good, solid, and informative content. Some good subjects here, articles that do really well. How-to articles, I talked about that. Bulleted points, so articles with like 5 bullet points, 5 step-by-step plans, things like that. They do really well as far as getting people interested, in reading the articles and getting them to draw their attention in. Article subjects, like I said, 5 steps to dog leash training success. That'd be huge, because people say, okay, I don't really have time to read a big, article that, sometimes they think of articles, they think of long, big, educational type articles that people write out a bunch, 5,000 word articles. These are just short, to the point, step-by-step articles. So they're like, okay, I can take 5 little steps, and each little step might be, a little paragraph or a little bullet point or something like that. So, dog leash training, 5 steps to success. And you could actually take that title I just said right here and apply it to your niche, weight loss secrets, 5 steps to success. Weight loss tips, 5 steps to success. Bird watching, bird watching success, or whatever. Bird watching, 5 steps to success. You get the idea. Mortgage, 5 steps to success. So there's a basic on how to write some articles, what you're trying to accomplish when you're writing articles. At the end of the articles, make sure you include an about the author, a bio, an about the author bio or biography, which also is also called a resource box from time to time. and it should be around 200 characters or one or two sentences, or even 150 characters, whatever it is. You don't really need to sit there and write out the characters. Try to keep it under 200 characters because some article directories won't allow you to submit more than that. I know Ezine articles let you submit a little more than that, but I try to keep it around that level just to make sure that I get as many pickups on my articles as possible. Or a good rule of thumb, like I said, is one or two sentences. Inside your resource box, you want to include an offer or an enticing reason for them to visit your website. And you want to include an anchor text link going back to your website for maximum SEO benefit. Now, for those that maybe haven't watched week 2 video or you missed last week, we talked about how important backlinks are and anchor text links, and that's actually another whole subject too. We're going to go more into backlinking because it's so huge for your success with search engine optimization and traffic. And getting backlinks to your site is really important if you're using anchor text link. When I talk about anchor text link, I mean the clickable part of the link. And hopefully in this example here, you can kind of see what I'm referring to. So you see here in my example of a good resource box, a decent one. This is my name. Paul Counts is an internet marketing consultant, small business coach. Discover how you can make money online as quickly as today by visiting fastcashaccounts.com, where you can download the free step-by-step video training series now. So what you've got here is with Make Money Online, that is my anchor text, or sometimes referred to as clickable text. That anchor text, Make Money Online, links to my blog, paulcounts.com. Oops, didn't mean to click on that, but there it is. So it links right over to my blog. And that anchor text tells the search engines what to expect on my website. And search engines love anchor text, search engine friendly links. And I show you here how to actually create that so you know the code that I use to make a link like that. And that's very important that you're using this, because not only do you want to use these articles to get traffic and interest in your site, but you want to use these articles so that people are coming to your site, and also search engines scour these article directories. They pick up the article directories and then they'll follow the link to your site. And the more links to your site, the more votes your site has, so to speak, in search engines. And the more votes your site has, the higher your site ranks. So I hope you can see how they work together. Not only do the articles drive traffic, they also drive and improve your search engine rankings, which, when working together, will help you increase your overall traffic. Now, article directories, just so I'm clear on that, it's not the only source of link building you're going to want to do. Article directories don't have as much authority as far as increased search engine rankings as they used to, but they still benefit you. So there's other link building alternatives for SEO link building that we talk about, again, more in depth. There's so many things to cover in this traffic course. But basically, as quickly as today, you can just go to fastcashaccounts.com, so basically this is my call to action. I have another site I'm directing them to. So I'm getting links into this site. It's just not an anchor text link. And the reason I didn't do an anchor text link on that is because you want to try to limit your resource box. This is really important, to one anchor text link, because you don't want to have too many of them, because the search engines, it'll kind of discount it. So I try to just focus on having one anchor text link, within the actual resource box. So that's what I try to focus on, just so they have a focus there. And then the website right there, I want to try to build up that brand name when I put in the website. So these could be the same website if you want them to. I just chose to make them separate. And so as quickly as today, visiting fastcashaccounts.com, and also do that too so it flows, because it doesn't look right to say as quickly as today by visiting Make Money Online. That won't flow. So you have to have your URL in there, but you want to try to use your anchor text before you give them the call to action on your URL, if that makes sense. So basically structure it very similar to how I've structured this resource box, and you'll be set to go. You obviously can see how you can include your name, so it builds your name's your credibility, and then your niche, whatever niche you is, whatever it is that you do, try to build up who you are and what you do, and then give them a reason to visit your site. Like I say, discover how you can make money online as quickly as today, and I have a 7-part video series where I teach people how they can start making money online as fast as today using Google Hot Trends, and I have a nice little 7-part training series, so I get them on my list. And so that gets them a reason to say, okay, he's got a great article here, so wow, this is really interesting. Where I want to download this free series. So basically they go right over and they'll click right on that resource box. And that's how you want your resource box structured. You want to give them a reason to go to your site. You want to give them a nice anchor text link so you get some search engine benefit, so you get some backlinking benefit from it. But again, I want to reiterate on the search engine linking part, don't just rely solely on article marketing when you're doing link building. Rely on some of the other things we've talked about so far and that we will talk about here in the future or in the next training. So keep that in mind. Now, article resource box. Here's the HTML version of the resource box I use. Now, when I say HTML, that means the hypertext markup language, which is basically HTML is the coding. You're probably familiar with that, obviously by now, that sites are run on. And most of these sites, a lot of article directories have an HTML about the author section, and they also have one that's non-HTML. And the non-HTML one only allows you to have a link to your site, like this link right here, http fastcashcounts.com. I chose to capitalize the different words in my name just because it kind of helps. It helps kind of stick out in people's mind. It doesn't affect your URL at all. You can type in caps or no caps in your main URL, and it'll go where you want. And so basically, discover how you can make money online. And notice this is the code that I use. So this / you want to write down this one here at the bottom, right here. Whoops. The one that has a caret to the left, and then it's got the A space href $, and then a quote, first quote mark, and then put in your URL. So that would be the link to your website that you want to get the benefit. That could either be a link to your website, a link to an article page on your site. It doesn't have to be to your home page. You can deep link is what it's called. And deep linking can really help you with search engine optimization, and we cover that in the future as well. But with deep linking, you send them a link. So you pull up your website, your article, maybe it's an article on your site, and you want to send traffic just to that particular page on that article. That would be, obviously your URL, that's where that goes. The link text, that's your main keyword phrase, is your link text. That's where your main keyword phrase is. That is the link text. That is the text that you want your anchor text. That's your clickable text. So that's like, in this case, make money online. And it has to be in between these two little, I call them little carets. You call them whatever you want. So there's the caret to the right. Some people call them less than or greater than, like the math symbol. So you choose however you want to call them, but it must go between those, the link text, and then it must end with this, you've got a little arrow to the left, / the letter A, arrow to the right. Now don't ask me what all that stuff means. All I know is that it makes a link look how it does. I'm not an HTML guru or expert. But this is the little link code you're going to want to write down because you want to use this when creating your anchor text links. And you'll want to refer to this in the future too for when you're doing press release marketing and other forms of marketing on your site as well to generate anchor text, search engine friendly backlinks that we have discussed before. So article topic ideas, like I mentioned, that keyword research is some ideas, and here's a few more. You can research other article directories and browse the top performing articles for ideas on content to write about. So basically, so you could research these other article directories and research other article directories and browse the top performing ones and come up with some ideas. So you can go to for example, you can go right over to ezinearticles.com, and let's just pull that up, www.ezinearticles.com. And if you go and let's say we narrow down to a particular niche, like let's just say health and fitness, and let's pull down acne as another niche within a niche, and you would see here at the top of all Ezine Articles pages, they have a little page up here that says Top Authors in Health and Fitness. And you could click in here and get some ideas for what these top authors in this category. Now I'm not saying to copy I'm saying to come up with some ideas for article subjects. I'm not saying to go in and copy their articles by any means. I'm talking about coming in there and helping yourself brainstorm some subject ideas that they have used for success because they're considered a top author in their field. And you can also utilize this to get ideas for how you can structure your article titles using the keywords that you have researched. So as you will recall, the keyword research we already went through in depth. This is how you can go in and actually start going through the process. So cures for pimples. Cures for pimples would be his main keywords. Get rid of those ugly pimples and get your clear skin and beautiful skin back. So there's a little subject. Home remedies for acne. That's his keyword. Space dash space. Use these remedies to get your clear and beautiful skin back. So notice in the title, he does a fabulous job. Now, I haven't looked at this stuff yet. I'm just showing you guys this as an example. They do a great job of including their keywords as far to the left, and then they do a great job of trying to sell people on reading that article. So you see here they've got their main keyword, space, dash, space, and that could be probably the best way to format some of your articles because it's easy to read. It's got the information they want. If your article title is on, comes up on the first page, not only is it going to interest people because your actual article, not only is it going to interest them because of your article itself, but it's actually going to, interest people because it's what they searched for. It's what they actually searched for, so it's going to match up, obviously, and that's why it's ranking, but it's going to match up with what they looked for. Dog leash training, they are looking for dog leash training. They're not looking for dog training overall. They're particular about dog leash training. So if you give them the article related to dog leash training, they're going to click on it. If you include that in your subject line with something enticing like 5 steps to success, they're going to be really interested in clicking. They'll see like, wow, this looks like a great resource. And then they read through your article, they see your bio box, they happen to click through to your site, maybe they sign up for your list, maybe they click on the affiliate link you have on your site that takes them over to like ClickBank, and it takes them right on over to the affiliate site, and then maybe they sign up and they buy the ebook you're promoting, or maybe they buy your ebook, or maybe they maybe they buy a dog training collar from you, or leash or something like that, for their dog, or maybe they sign up for your dog social networking site. You get the idea. Now all of a sudden you've given people what they want because you did a good job doing your research and applying these principles, and you will be rewarded for that, because not only will Google reward you by ranking the various articles up there because you've matched up with what people want, you have good content, but the people will appreciate the good content, and then you see how this can really grow. Obviously, use the keyword research, and then use the idea mentioned above. Work them in tandem. Okay, here's some keywords. Now, how could I? Let's look up some ideas of how successful authors on easingarticles.com has formulated their articles. So use that as a guide or as some examples. Obviously, do not copy titles. Try to not copy article titles. That's not a good thing to do. Sometimes, obviously, there's some article subjects that you may have to have very similar subject titles. And that's just a hard fact, because there's search engine search engine optimization. There's only so many ways you can say the word search engine optimization. So I could do an article, search engine optimization, 5 steps to success. And somebody else might have an article, search engine optimization, 3 steps to success, or successful search engine optimization tips. Well, obviously I'm not copying the content. I'm writing my own content. But if the article title is similar, don't fret about it. Just don't blatantly go out there and try to copy them if you can help it. And obviously, do not copy the content that they have within their articles. Create your own content. Be original. You can write 1 article per keyword phrase most of the time. So as we identified using the AdWords keyword tool, we were able to identify a lot of keyword phrases that we could go after. So creating content for your articles, research other websites, books, and magazines in your niche. Now, books and magazines, that might be slightly extreme. But if you really want to get serious and write some good contents, go to the library or buy a book on your niche, or library is your best bet because it's free. Compile some research. Make sure you give, if you take some credit, if you're taking exact points from exact written text from books and stuff, try to put together a little resource sheet if you can help it, so you can say things like, according to this book by this author, blah, blah, blah is true about dog leash training, So I hope you guys get that idea there. So don't obviously plagiarize from books. I'm not encouraging that. Use it like you're writing a paper for college, Come up with some ideas, some subjects, things like that. Reference them in your article. It'll help give you some credibility, too. It's kind of using that, what we call borrowed credibility in this industry, They're like, wow, look at that. They're kind of writing an article, that this successful author's written. Wow, this must be good information, that kind of stuff. Plus, it helps that, author out because they helped you. It's just, good karma to do that. Take things from magazines. According to Dog Training Journal, dog leash training can take, 5 weeks to be successful at, or something like that, So you get the idea. Use books, magazines, other websites, within your research, and obviously if you just take stats from these different sites, you don't really need to reference them. If you pull some data or stats that may not be proprietary to them, meaning that's their only source of content, then by all means, use that content, just formulate your own wording around it. But just be careful there. Obviously, I'm not teaching anybody to go plagiarize and copy. I'm going to be very careful about saying that. Don't want anybody to get upset here. But you do need to do research if you're going to have good, solid articles. You need to research your niche market. You can use software to help you find the information you're looking for. And so this is a perfect segue to go right into the software that I am providing for you guys as a free little bonus. So this is a free bonus. It's an article ideas software, and it will help you really write articles really quick. So for example, how this little software works, and you guys get a copy of this, it will be available sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours on the same page where I post all the articles on. You're going to get a main topic. So you can just click here where it says main topic, and main topic, you type in your keyword phrase. So for example, dog leash training, and just choose go. And then what the software is going to do, it's going out to various websites, and it's actually pulling down some information from these websites. It's grabbing just some basic research information. So obviously you're not going to want to just go out there and swipe this content directly. It's so you don't want to just copy it verbatim, but you can take some of this wording, reword it for yourself, or you can go to these sites and find some more research. So notice how really pretty quickly, I got several sites that I could consider. So let me drag this down here. And there weren't a ton of sites for this particular niche keyword phrase, but you could use it for some more broad terms pretty quickly, to get some more ideas. But if I click here, pets, animals, oops. So that's a bad example. Okay, so you could actually click here and copy. Oops. You can open that link, and then you could go and read, here's a nice little article. You might be able to pull some ideas. You might be able to even, reference this person, the author of this article. They didn't really include a name in their author section, but you could go here and, okay, so that's a good source for, dog leash training. So I could go there and write up some information about it. You could take here and put in, keywords such as weight loss as an example. And notice weight loss and some broader niches will actually start pulling the results that I was hoping that would actually pull from. And you kind of get some ideas here. Now some of it, is kind of junky, but some of it is workable. So if I just stop that. Okay, and then notice here you can go right over here to the plain text view, and you could actually just take these various little segments and copy. Like you could take this whole thing, copy to clipboard, and then you could open up a little notepad file, paste it right in there, format, word wrap, and then you could just go ahead and just start, clean out the junk that maybe comes in. But just, you've got right at your hand some research that you could start doing. Weight loss is about knowing which foods are healthy and eating more of the healthy foods. Okay, that's a good little sentence. So let me go and take another one, and so you go grab a few more sentences, and then you take them and just start, rewording that. So really quickly here, you get your research done for you. So I'll give you guys access to the software. You can play around with it. I was pretty excited when I found out I was able to give this to you guys. So I'm going to enable you guys to use that software. It might help you guys some in your article writing. So you can use some software tools. You can also do your own research on Google itself. That's some other ideas. Google dog leash training and look up some other articles. dogleashtraining.net, and pull some data, information, or get some ideas. Have a little notepad next to you, or a little notepad text file, and write out, okay, maybe I should comment on, write something about this, or read the comments on these various articles and see if people had questions related to that. You can go into website forums, so like, dog training forums, and you could see big questions that people have about dog trainings, so, like there's inside this dog forum that I'm just clicking on, here's a dog behavior training section, or some articles on dog behavior training, so you could pull some more ideas within these forums. And there's just a lot of data that you could pull from. So here's like an individual dog training forum, and you could go through here and identify questions that people have. So then you could answer these questions that people have related to dog training. Another tool example, another tool slash freebie thing that you can use is Yahoo Answers. So you can just go right in here to Yahoo Answers and go ahead and do a quick search for your question. So let's say dog leash training. See if anybody has any questions about it. Where can I find a dog leash or dog training leash? Does dog leash training or dog leash training, how long should it take? So there's an example of a good article. Somebody's saying, okay, dog leash training, how long should it take? I'm going to train my dog. How long should I take for each session? And then you could research that answer, come up with an article, and respond to them with a link to your ezine articles that you created. Plus, you're creating content for yourself with that main keyword phrase. So definitely use Yahoo Answers as another research tool to utilize. So again, we talked about using software. You can rewrite private label rights articles, and I encourage you to rewrite them because you want to have good, unique content. You want to ensure that your articles are picked up. So if you rewrite them, it's basically reordering the content, adding content to them, taking out words, coming up using a thesaurus, which is basically it's a tool that gives you kind of like a dictionary, but it gives you synonyms, keywords that are or words that are similar to different keywords within that. So you might use additional keywords like dog leash training, dog obedience training, or something. You might tie those kind of words in. Leash, collars, those kind of run together. You can try to use those inside within your article. Come up with some ideas, just some various things that might make sense, some core keyword phrases. You could change them to different keywords as long as they mean the same thing. Rewrite the article, basically take the content and say, okay, this is good research, but I'm going to rewrite it myself. The great thing with that PLR content, when you're rewriting it, you don't need to worry about referencing, the PLR content, because you have the rights to it to do whatever you want with, pretty much. So you don't need to be sitting there and referencing people. It gives you some abilities, and you can find private label rights articles by just going to Google and typing in, dog training private label rights, dog leash training private label rights. You might find articles on even the most niche keyword phrases, but usually you're going to find it for broad keywords. But if you have private label rights articles and they already have good subjects that are already getting traffic, you could actually use those as subjects to start with. So a lot of times we get private label rights, maybe you have 100 articles, PLR articles on the weight loss niche. Well, now all of a sudden you've got 100 articles that potentially have search volume that you could go in and rewrite or combine it. You could even take bits and pieces from private label rights articles, combine them to an original article that you're writing, or take half of a PLR article and combine it with half of an article you wrote. And there you go, you've got yourself some good unique content. Use PLR ebooks that give you the rights to use as articles, because some private label rights ebooks, and I'm not talking about articles, I'm talking about ebooks, so you don't think I'm repeating myself. But private label rights ebooks, typically, an ebook is like 50 or so pages of content, and you could actually take a private label rights ebook. So let's say an ebook's got 50 pages of content, then each one of those pages could be around 50 articles for you. And what I like about using ebooks for is because it gives you a chance to kind of have a slightly more unique content, because most of the people that get private label rights ebooks, they just think about selling the ebook if they do anything with it. Most of the time they won't even do anything with it. But if they don't worry about, most of the time they're just worried about using it as an entire ebook. They're not really thinking about using it as an article now, and so it gives you a little chance to actually, have some good unique content pretty quick. And, to make sure it's even more unique, maybe take one page of content, cut it in half, combine it with maybe something you found on page 3 that was interesting, and maybe add in your own first paragraph. So you get the idea is that you don't need to write all this content up front. You can also obviously outsource article writing if you want to. You can go to elance.com and put up an article writing project, but outsourcing for traffic, that's going to be, again, another topic that we have to go over. But creating content for articles is something you can do on your own. You could have somebody else do for you. You can pay about $5 an article and have them written for you, or you can take one PLR ebook and turn those into articles. And so you get the ideas of some things you can do. Some other great ideas for creating content for your articles is record yourself creating your articles using a free program like Audacity, and then transcribe the free content. So you can go download a tool, type into Google Audacity, hook it up to your USB headset, and then what you're going to do is go ahead and read the, talk about your article. You can speak faster than you can type, and so you could basically take the research that you found on your niche, or even what you know off the top of your head, because most of you have expertise within your niche. Take what you know on top of your head after you've done some keyword research and say, okay, I'm doing this example on golf ball training. I'm doing this, or golf ball driving. Be a better driving a golf ball further. So you can say, okay, that's my subject. Golf ball driving, and then you go sit there and you just start spouting off everything you know about being a better driver, driving the golf ball further, faster, whatever it is you're trying to do with it more accurately, curing your slice in your golf swing, so you're talking about curing your golf swing slice. You give some tips. You're just speaking it, and Audacity is recording yourself. And what's great about it is you're going to be able to apply it to podcasting, some other marketing forms, video marketing, the MP3 that you get after this. And so you can actually take that file that's created, so you're actually kind of doing dual purpose marketing there. And you can speak faster and you can type, as I mentioned. And a good tip also, if you want to have unique PLR articles, is to take private label rights articles and then read them in your own words. So read the PLR articles in your very own words into Audacity. And then once you have have done this in Audacity, just stop the recording and then go ahead and save it to your computer, and then open it up in like Windows Media Player, open up the file, and then sit there and actually, type out the articles. You can transcribe it yourself. If, a lot of times people are on a budget when they're doing their marketing, or they just find it's easier to just do it themselves, or they have a spouse or a family member or something that could transcribe, the audio. So you just basically take the audio and you just type out, what you're doing as you speak, and all of a sudden now you've written an article, and you'll find that in a very short amount of time, just literally like a few minutes, you've said enough to actually create an article or two even. Sometimes within 10 minutes, you could actually write 5 or 6 articles, 4 or 5 articles in just a short time by speaking it. And then obviously you have to go back in and transcribe it, which takes a little bit of time, and then edit it, but it really will speed up the content creation part and make your life much easier. And transcribing audios is something else that you can outsource. And you could outsource it to relatives, spouse, whatever it is, children, whoever you're outsourcing stuff to, outsource to freelance sites like elance.com, guru.com, getafreelancer.com. Use those sites to outsource transcribing of the content for. And that's how you can, start creating some content really quick. You could also use a text-to-speech program called Dragon Naturally Speaking that will actually type what you say. And one thing to use in tandem with it is Audacity, because as you're actually saying what you want to say, it's actually recording that into an audio file, which again you can use for video and podcast marketing, which is a whole nother training set that we will be covering again as well. So we've got a lot of things in store again. The Dragon Naturally Speaking, basically it will type what you say. Now it sometimes is inaccurate. I find that it won't work as great all the time, but it gives you a rough idea of what you're trying to say. And, and basically before you start reading these articles, write down a few bullet points, jot down a few notes to yourself, like, I'm going to write on these 4 bullet points today, or I'm going to talk about these. These are my main points. Or if you know your niche on top of your head, don't worry about writing down bullet points. Just speak, speak in there. And it'll help you create some good, solid, unique content. Make sure you go back to edit your articles after you use them in Dragon Naturally Speaking. It's a program you can just type into Google. You can buy it. I think Amazon even sells it, but you'll find their website too. It costs, I believe the last cost I saw was like $99. Staples, Office Depot, Best Buy, some of those kind of stores, electronics, office type stores, Office Max, things like that, they sell they usually sell Dragon Naturally Speaking software. It's about a $100 software program, but with a good USB headset, it can actually really save you a lot of time, as far as outsourcing, the articles. You get content that's really in your voice, for sure it's in your voice. It really speeds up the process to do a lot of things. But you just need to make sure you go back and edit the content, but you can write some article content really, really quick. So those are some strategies to really start ramping up the process on top of using private label rights content. So again, you don't need to worry about, if you are scared to sit down and type in front of your computer and that you get writer's block by looking at the blank screen, don't let that hold you back, because it's all about creating as much content and information as possible. So that's really what it's all about. So we're going to just continue on here and talk a little bit about maximizing your traffic opportunities. So you want to create as many articles as possible when you're doing article marketing. Basically, the more articles you can create and distribute, the more traffic you can start to see. Now, I know that might seem like, well, that's a no-brainer. Why did I just pay Paul to tell me that? Well, it's because you need to be reminded that it takes effort, and it takes, a little bit of time, but effort. And that's when you're going to start seeing results. Your efforts going to start coming up to match a reward. So the more articles you can create and distribute, the better you're going to be. If you can write 50 articles to distribute, you're going to be that much better than if you had just written one article on one core keyword, because now all of a sudden you're targeting 50 various keyword phrases. And ensure you have keyword-rich titles that have been researched, so you know that there is an interest in those topics. That's how you can really maximize article marketing. Like I said before, when we were doing that keyword research using Google Insights, using Google AdWords tool, using all those things together to generate as much good keyword research as possible, you want to know that those topics are being searched for. You want to know that they are hot topics. And then you want to have a good resource box, because it does you no good if you don't have a resource box, or if you have a resource box that's kind of boring, or basically you want to give them an incentive to click on it, whether it's your free report, whether it's more fabulous content, whether it's more of you, whatever it is that gets them excited to go to your site. You want to have a good resource box, whatever, maybe you're having coupons, promotions, whatever it is, give them an incentive within your resource box to click on your links in your resource. And in most article directories won't let you do more than 2 links, so you want to try to limit it to the 2 links I showed before, which is your anchor text link, which helps for search engine optimization, and a direct link to maybe your offer page, your website, or whatever it is. But you want to make sure they're linking directly to your website. That may seem like a no-brainer, but it's very, very important. So to maximize your traffic opportunities with article marketing, there's just 3 really core things. Create as many articles as possible, and ensure you're using keyword-rich titles that you've done some research on, there's an interest, and then have a good resource box. It takes a little bit of work, but I hope you saw in the previous steps that I went over some methods for generating content quickly without having to worry about writing as much. So I hope that encourages you to do more article marketing. Distributing your articles. You can distribute them through article directories. And we'll cover a few good article directories to use. You can go to Google and even type in article directories to find some good ones to submit to. Article directories, Easing Articles is one I talk about, goarticles.com, and I'll have a slide with those on there. But those websites, they're high authority sites. Google still ranks them high. They're great sites as far as getting good traffic from them. They have huge amounts of traffic. People not only finding them from the search engines, but also within the websites, people are actually finding the information useful, so they're inside the site, typing in things like, weight loss or dog leash training or dog obedience to find more articles on their subjects. If they stumble across your article and you have a good resource box, they get, they'll click through. It's all about getting as much traffic as possible to your article. So, article directories are really important to submit to still. Very important. You don't want to use it as your sole link building strategy, but it can help you. It can really help you not only rank in the search engines by an improved amount of link building ability and having an increase in the number of various ways that you're doing link building, but it also is going to help you just from a sheer traffic standpoint. Some other strategies is to offer to write articles for blogs and websites in your niche. Now, I know this might seem weird, like, why do I want to create content for somebody in my niche or something else? Well, find a site that is an information type portal or a hub in your niche market, and make posts on forums in your niche. So like the Warrior Forum if you were in internet marketing, or maybe it's a weight loss forum, and find forums in your niche and tell them that you would like to write a few unique articles. So inside these posts, you want to make posts telling people
that, maybe it's in the joint venture section or about me section inside the form or something like that, or come up with an area. Maybe they have a free section or a networking section or something like that. But basically say that you'd like to write a few unique articles, so articles that are only going to be used for those one websites. But in exchange for you writing a unique article for them for free, you want to include an anchor text link to your website. What's going to happen though is that a lot of these sites, they're good authority sites. They have good traffic to their sites. You'll get good traffic from the sites, but more importantly, you're getting a good anchor text search engine friendly link going to your website, and that's a good advanced little SEO link building tactic. And you could also, just do straight emails to website owners. Use domaintools.com, DOMAIN, domaintools.com. Type in the website that you're interested in, and it should bring up the contact information for that website owner. Now, they may not have, all their information public, so if they don't, just move on to the next one or try to find their information if you really want them. Submit the contact us form on their site or sign up for their list and email them that way. Come up with a way to kind of try to get in touch with them. Hit their support desk up. I had somebody just do this, for me. They offered to write me 2 articles for my blog, and they were, in exchange, they're doing anchor text links. I knew exactly what they're doing, but I still took them up on the offer because and the articles look great. I'll take 2 fresh, unique, solid articles in exchange. All I'm doing is linking out to their site. They have relevant sites. I obviously looked at their sites before I approved the articles to make sure they were sites that my users would benefit from and that were beneficial, so it wouldn't hurt me by linking out to them. So, obviously you're not going to link out to a Viagra site or something like that, when you're in the pet niche, or something like that, or some other, casino site or a site, that's got a bad website. You don't want to be linking off to bad websites. You want to link off to sites within your niche. You don't want to be in the dog training niche linking off to internet marketing, type website either. So keep that in mind as well. So make sure when they're doing this for you, if you have your own site and somebody offers this for you, or if you offer it for somebody else, make sure it's relevant, because it's going to benefit them if it's relevant too. Google will frown on sites that are linking out just, to link out to other sites. And what's great though is you get a good one-way link, and search engines like one-way links, especially links that have text, surrounded by text related to that subject. So that's going to be huge. So you could offer to write a unique article. That's important. You cannot write this article and then distribute it to article directories because they did not ask you to do that. That's not, you'd be lying if you did that. So you want to only take the article and use it only on their website one time. And yes, it might take you some time and you might say, well, why do I want to do this again? But it's all about getting that good anchor text search engine friendly backlink to your site. And make sure that they keep the site, keep it live on there. Maybe just tell them, but usually by default they're going to put it up there, set and forget it, and it's going to be live there. So another thing to use an article software service to submit your articles. Articlemarketer.com is a great one that I use as well. It's tremendous. It actually takes your article and will blast it. It does cost money, so it does cost a little bit of money, but it will take your articles and blast it out there to several sites at once, several sources at one time. It will take it and submit it to a lot of article directories with one fell swoop. So that's a good service to look into. So you might try articlemarketer.com for that, or you might try other software services. I have another one I'm going to tell you here in a second. Some other ideas is research websites that want content in your niche, because not only, this is not talking about finding articles that you don't know if they want your content or not, which usually they will. They like unique content because it helps them. Like the guy that's writing articles for me, he wrote some good articles. It's going to help me rank higher in the search engines. And so, yeah, I'll put unique content because Google likes good content. It gives me an additional page of content because, my blog, he's got one measly link to his site, but on my blog, I've got my opt-in page and other things like that, but the main benefit for him is the anchor text search engine friendly link he's going to get from me. But you could do searches for golf, like golf, I'm just talking about your niche, so bird watching, golf, dog training, dogs, cats, pets, whatever it is, how to, golf how to. So this would be sites related to how to information on golf. Typically, they're how to type sites, so they want user generated content. You could do a Google search for your niche and then the word submit article. So that would that's beyond just article directories. That's finding directories that are just niche specific. So niches, article directories just related to pet websites or pet owners, or niche article directories just related to golfing or bird watchers or things like that. There's a lot of blogs out there that want people to submit articles for them. So doing searches like that will help you identify some other blogs within your niche you can get links from. Type in words like your niche information, so golf information, golf and submit content. Same concept as when you're writing and submit article. That will bring up some other sources you can use to leverage article marketing. Sites that may want your article. Some of them may not even make you do the article exclusively. They may just want the article just to have more content, and then you can also distribute it. But if you find some good high authority sites that get some decent traffic, not only will you get benefit from the traffic, but again, that search engine friendly link on those other sites is going to be huge, because now I talked about article directory links not having as much weight with search engines, but they still carry some good weight for you as far as links go. But if you're getting links from other websites in general, not just article directories, but other websites, it's really going to actually benefit you, because you're getting little votes and links going into your site from other pages. So if you're using a good anchor text link, or even just a link itself, but anchor text is the preference, you're going to notice and see a good improvement in your overall search engine rankings, which search engine rankings we know give you excellent targeted free traffic to your website. Another great service to use is article marketing automation. Now, I know you're like, wow, Paul, that is very blatant that you're using an affiliate redirect link, and yes, I am. I'm going to be honest about that. It is a tremendous service. I've just researched it, and I'm amazed. I actually got some reviews from some other people that have used it. I've contacted their support desk to make sure it's doing everything they're saying. I'm going to actually start using this tool. It is incredible. It will actually take your article. They have a network of blogs, and I'm not just hyping it up because I'm promoting it too. It's a really cool tool to have in your arsenal. Basically, it works. It'll blast your articles out there to not article directories, but actually blast you out to unique blogs and niches. So various blogs and things that they have in their network. So there's a lot of people, and you can actually sign up for a free account with them. And what you can do is you can actually submit your own you could create your own little website and then only take articles from article marketing users that are good, solid articles related to whatever niche you're in. So you could have a site related to weight loss and get a steady flow of good, solid weight loss content that's not blasted out to a whole ton of article directories, but that's just pretty much focused within that network. And it will really help you get some good solid content on your own site. So there's a lot of website owners that have little content sites that they're making money through AdSense or other things. And these are sites that have page rank on them. They have good page ranks, very clean looking sites. They have several thousand in their network that they could potentially distribute your site to. They do it in a natural way, so it doesn't look bad for search engines. And what I like about their service is anywhere within the article you can provide an anchor text search engine friendly link to your offer, to your website, whatever it is. That's more beneficial a lot of times than just the article directories, which make you only put it in the resource box, which is typically found at the bottom. Sometimes it's buried below an advertisement, so it's harder for people to find it. And so with this, you can just put that link right there. Right now, it's only $47 a month, which is quite inexpensive for being able to submit unlimited articles to their service. And I found it to be an absolutely amazing service. I'm signing up and going to start really using it hard. But before I recommended it, I did check around and see what other people thought. I did actually, I have been recommended this from some other very good marketers, respected marketers, and I have actually contacted their support desk to find out some things too, to make sure I was on the right track. And what's great too is they let you submit to unlimited niche markets too, because if you have a site on babies and you also have a site on weight loss, they will distribute your content to sites in the baby niche and then sites only in the weight loss niche. You're getting your content posted on relevant websites that will, they're only niche specific type sites, so you can, and they let you submit unlimited articles for unlimited niches, and that's a really low cost that they offer. So you can just get it at seocounts.com/AMA, or you can just go to Article Marketing Automation if you'd like to in Google if you don't want to go through my link. But there it is, my link, seocounts.com/AMA. It's a great service. Submit to Web 2.0 properties. Web 2.0 properties in itself is a whole nother video that I talked about and that we promised that we're doing. You're probably like, man, there's still a lot of ground to cover. Well, we're only on video 3 of our 3 of 8 part series. So this is a huge series, and it's becoming quite the course. But you can submit to Web 2.0 properties, submit your article to them. Same ones you're submitting to article directories to Squidoo.com, HubPages.com, and Weebly.com.
And so obviously these are some great sources for submitting your content and your articles. Now here's a list of some top article directories. I've been talking about easingarticles.com. I'm sure you've heard about it by now, but it's huge. There's really no reason for me not to mention it. It really gives you great benefit, great traffic. It ranks high in the search engines. It's just a huge article directory. You can't go wrong submitting to them. Really, as long as you're submitting good content and you write, you submit good content, you submit good content often, and you have a good keyword-rich title, you're going to be in great shape submitting to any of these article directories. But goarticles.com, articledashboard.com, articlesbase.com, articlesalley.com. iSnare.com is another one. They have a little paid service. It's like $1 or $2 per article, depending on what little option you choose. So you may not want to submit tons and tons of articles to them, but they also have a similar service to Article Marketer, where they'll take your article and distribute it to a bunch of different websites. And I actually find that they submit to a few different places than Article Marketer does, because they also submit your article to list owners, believe it or not, Easing article owners, and sometimes they will actually take the good content articles and post it inside their list, and their list will actually start funneling traffic to you, or they'll post it on their websites and things like that, for content. Helium.com is another site to consider. They have a profile page where you can actually set up links into your website, so you don't get a direct link in the resource box. What's great about Helium is it does rank high, and you actually can make some money from just writing good content. The problem with them is the content needs to be more unique just for their site, but they are a pretty high authority website. They're a site you could leverage for some good traffic potentially, and then just make sure you set up your profile correct with backlinks going to your site inside your profile page, because they'll link they don't really have a resource box where they say this article is written by, and they put like your username. So your username, you could just make your name and it's clickable and it goes right into the profile page, and that would be a nice way for people to say, wow, I'm going to check out this guy, and then there's a link to your website inside there. So use your profile page if you use a site like Helium. I definitely recommend the other 6 for sure. Great article directories. If you don't want to pay anything, obviously, and you want to just write one article, don't want to write 2, don't use Helium then. Use the other 5 that I talk about here, and do a Google search for article directories again to find some more article directories. Here's a brief little how-to of distributing to article directories. You want to use a TextPad file to copy from when you are distributing articles. So you want to include your title in the little TextPad document. You want to create a list of keywords related to your article. And you want to create a summary for your article which will entice people to read it. Usually the first sentence of the article will do just fine. So it's the first sentence of the article. It will work just great for you usually as far as the summary. Now, sometimes if you can be creative with it, if you want to give them, discover the 5 keys to dog leash training success, and that'll kind of be kind of an enticing 1 or 2 sentences that you could put together. And that summary sometimes will kind of be the summary that displays on the article sites itself, when people are inside the article directories. And so, but most of your traffic when you're doing keyword research will come just from the search engines themselves. But I like to, I write my articles in a Word document, or you could use like, Open Office Writer as another option. So I write them out in that document, and then I'll take them and I'll copy them into a TextPad file or a Notepad file, which is free on on all computers. And you just take the Notepad file, paste it in there, and then you can actually copy the content from your Notepad file, and then move that content when you're just copy and paste from that Notepad file to the article directories, because that's going to give you the cleanest result inside the article directories. Because what happens when you're copying and pasting from Microsoft Word is sometimes you get some bad formatting with the articles, so it's really important that you use TextPad documents, and that bad formatting will make your articles look bad, that may cause them to not be approved, all these different things. So you want to include your About the Author section in there as well, which would include the full HTML resource box that I showed you how to set up. And then again, copy from the Notepad file when distributing. I said that again on purpose because I want to make sure you are taking your article from your Word document to your Notepad file. There's nothing saying you can't write it in Notepad file. It's just preference. If you prefer to just type it out your article in your Notepad file, just make sure when you're writing articles or however you're doing your article creation that you are saving on a every once in a while, and make sure you're saving the articles because you do not want to lose those articles. And then just copy from the Notepad file when distributing them, because that's going to give you the cleanest results.
Now, marketing your articles, you can ping each of your articles with pingomatic.com. And so just go over to pingomatic.com and you could just ping it after you distribute it. And then you can bookmark each of your articles that you distribute using socialmarketing.com or onlywire.com. Onlywire is a tool we talked about in the first video, and we're going to talk about it in our social bookmarking lessons as well. And so you can just go through these phases, and we go way more in depth on some of these methods, but what this is going to do, it's going to help the search engines pick up your article after you've distributed it and created it, and it's going to really help them, start indexing that content, because you want that content indexed quickly so you can start seeing some traffic benefits from the content. So this method right here, using those two things of bookmarking and pinging it, will increase the effectiveness of your article marketing tremendously, because it's going to get more people, more targeted, focused people to your sites, to your articles, which translates to more visitors for your website. And here's, in closing, a weekly article marketing plan of action. So the first one is to research keywords and subjects for your articles using the keyword research that I identified at the beginning of this video. You're going to want to make a list of 25 potential article titles. And because the key here is, if you can do this on a weekly basis, you are going to be in a great shape within your niche market, or whatever niche you're in. But if you can create 25 articles per week, that's going to translate to about 100 articles per month, and in exchange about 1,200 articles per year that you are working on creating and distributing. And really, though, don't worry about like, wow, I got to do 25 articles. This isn't really your homework, but this is really a plan of action to really kickstart your traffic through article marketing. And you really, if you break it down, it's really just 3 or 4. It's just 3 or 4 articles per day. So you see here, 25 articles spread out over 7 weeks. That's 3 to 4 articles per day. So it's not too bad. So if you can set aside, say it takes you 10, 15, 20 minutes per article. Let's say it takes you a while when you're first starting out, up to 20 minutes. That's an hour a day. We all have an hour a day, so you spend an hour a day that you could be spending on this instead of maybe watching TV or something else, to just focus on doing some traffic generation methods. Maybe go home an hour late, whatever it is, come up with a way to kind of fit in an hour extra a day and just go through it and start coming up with 25 articles. Maybe it's just the weekend you have time for it. Saturday, Sunday, rip out 12 or 13 articles in one day, focus on it for a couple hours, do something else, come back, focus on it again. But you want to make a list of 25 article titles so you can try to do about 25 articles. And if that discourages you, do 1 article a day. Do 7 articles for the week. If that discourages you, do 1 every 3 days. Have 2 articles that you come up with over the course of a week. But the more you do, the better you're going to be, and that would include make sure it has good keyword-rich title tags again. The next step after you've chosen your titles and selected them, start writing your articles. If you have PLR, use it. If you have that keyword research software, if you have the Audacity software, or that software I'm going to give you guys to research, the Audacity program to just read your articles quickly, or come up with the articles, use those tools as well. And then submit the articles to article directories after you've created them. So you could do a thing like, say you write 5 articles, you distribute 5 articles. You write 5 more articles, you distribute another 5 articles. And you just go from there. And then you work on pinging each and every one of your articles after you distribute them on the various websites so that they get picked up. And then you'll want to try to bookmark your articles. And I know this may seem like a lot of work, but a lot of work is really what separates those that succeed with traffic generation and those that don't. And the reason you're in this course is because you guys want to get more traffic, because you understand that without traffic, your business online really won't do anything, because it doesn't matter how you're getting your traffic, whether it's even through joint venture partners, through emails or whatever. Without any eyeballs to a website, nobody's going to nobody can take you up on your offer. So it's a matter of, looking at it like, this is my livelihood, this is what I want to do, and then just going after it and hitting it hard that way and working your tail off. And not necessarily working your tail off, because sometimes it can be fun, to do this stuff. I thoroughly enjoy what I do, and I hope you guys do too. It's fun to make extra income. It's fun to make a full-time living doing this. Depending on whatever it is, it's, your business. You're in your business because you think it's fun, hopefully, and enjoyable, and whatever the case might be. But go through this weekly plan of action, and the final step is repeat these steps above each week if you can, because it's all about consistency, and consistent action will lead to some consistently great results. And somebody else before me may have said that. I just came up with that little slogan together. But consistent action will create consistently good results. And basically just take these steps, repeat the steps above each and every week, and you'll succeed greatly with article marketing above your competition. Because if you look at it, by the end of the year, you could technically have 1,200 articles 1,200 articles themselves that could be out on the internet, and that's just on Ezine articles. Now, if you distributed each one to 5 places, that's all of a sudden 6,000 new exposures for your business. If you submitted them through article marketing automation and say they go out to 50 to 100 sites at once with that service, that's now, let's see, 50 times 1,200. We're talking like 60 to 100,000 exposures. So I hope you start to see how big this can get, because it's all about massive action, massive exposure, massive traffic, and massive profits. So